Everybody, it's Victus. Time to another Eden run here, the Binding of Isaac Victor Repentance Plus series. Happy Saturday, Mosh Pit. Well, we are not going to make it to the Get Down Mr. President Challenge, Like Street Gold, but we are going to do it anyway tomorrow so we can move past it and get on to something fresh and new. And I have a great idea for the next Like Street goal, so I'm looking forward to sharing that with you all very soon. And thank you all very much for all the support. And also a huge thank you to today's picture of the day, sent in here by Paul McAvoy 321 on the Sinvicta subreddit. Title there was Sin Tattoo, and then in the thread they said, sorry for the poor quality picture, but after a long time waiting, I finally got Sin's logo tattooed on my leg. Been wanting to do this for a while now, and super happy with the results. That artist did an impeccable job. That is quite literally a one-to-one copy of the logo. They did a fantastic job, and thank you very much, Paul. I'm humbled and honored to be a part of that leg forever now. So thank you again, Paul. Awesome picture, man. I love the tattoo. Again, that's a great honor. Thank you very much. It's so awesome, man. Oh man, we got a mega star. We got Kilo Victor Sierra Papa Zulu. All right, so we got Mega. Everyone knows what Mega does by now. If you don't, well, you're seeing it right now. Mega just is a huge giant brimstone beam attack that you can use to carry pretty much through the entire run. It's very useful for clearing floors, especially if your stats are lacking, which ours aren't really great right now. 2.06 is okay. Sorry, 2.06 is terrible. 3.62 is okay in terms of our damage. Movement speed's good. Shot speed is horrible, and our range is okay, I suppose. It's passable. Ooh, we get super bandage here, which would be nice. It's going to help us maintain our soul hearts and therefore protecting our red heart HP. Good bomb to that steel chest here, and yeah, a half price key is not terrible. I mean, the sharp key is the best pickup in here. That's 5 keys for 3 cents each, which is really, really nice. But I'm just gonna go ahead and fade those. I'm not really too concerned about that. Secret room should be here. This will also allow us to get into the golden chest, right? Meow. And we get a sticky nickel, which immediately unstickies itself thanks to the troll bomb. We get an extra key for our troubles, so we could go back and get another soul heart. We don't really need it though. The thing is like we're looking okay. I do kind of want to see what this card is though. Hey, it's you know what? It's a crawl space. Let's go see what's in here. Maybe it was worth it. Oh baby, it was totally worth it. We got ourselves a black market to start off on a Saturday. I mean, car battery plus mega is real good. Maybe we can get ourselves a reroll machine. No. We're gonna take car battery. We don't need to be in here, so yeah. Car battery mega is not bad at all. We'll just head on down. We're going to the last piece question of the episode, coming in from, I have no idea how to say this name because it's in Leet speak. I think it's Cheshire. Oh, it's Cheshire Cat. There you go. I got it. Cheshire Cat. It's literally CH35H1R3C47 is how they pronounce their name, or how they spelled their name. Cheshire Cat says, question of the episode, sacks almost always seem to be worth buying, often containing at least 1 key or 1 bomb, and often even some extra money. Why don't you buy them in the shop more often? It's the same answer as with, why don't I buy this mediocre item? If it's not going to immediately save a run, or if it's yes, it's going to be beneficial, but I would much rather save the money for a better item. You know, unless if I really, really am desperate for keys or bombs or anything like that. I do value sacks pretty highly. You'll see me pick them up every now and then because it is good value. You normally, at the very least, you normally end up with almost equal return back on your play. Sometimes you can get an extra key, sometimes you can get extra bombs. You can even have a half price sack that pays for itself and gives you profit. But it's still, at the end of the day, it's still very much a gamble. There are times when you pick up a sack, it just has 1 penny in it. Or if you don't really need the key and you need a bomb and there's no other option, you try to buy the sack, and then what does it have? It has everything but a key. So that's the trade-off there, is that unlike buying an item like, say, I don't know, what's a mediocre item in the shop? battery pack, or 9 volt. Let's put it that way. We could get 9 volt even if it doesn't have that much of an impact on our run right now. Or for that 15 cents, what if we waited for a floor when we don't necessarily need the 9 volt and pick up something else? So the same thing goes along the lines with the sacks. Esau Jr. Esau Jr. is okay, but I don't think we really need it right now. Secret room's right there, but we have any bombs. Speaking of not having any bombs. Yeah, it's just to maintain my money levels in case of something better rolls around. But sacks are very much worth taking. They just don't. They're not guaranteed to put you in profit every single time. Otherwise, I would take them every single time. Okay, well, we've officially gone pretty much every way we can without finding the right way. This room is a nightmare, by the way, for the amount of movement speed and damage that we have. So I thought this was the last direction that we could have gone. Apparently not, but we've absolutely done a full clear on this floor. I'm not going to use Mega though, just because it's going to be wasted, and on top of that, it will last twice as long because of car battery. So it's much better if we just wait to the next floor. Curse of the Lost really kind of boned us here, and we lost at least 1 soul heart for our troubles. Apparently, this is the only other direction I hadn't gone. Used to me. That's also forgive my voice a little bit here. It's a little bit scratchy today. I didn't sleep very well the night before, and then this morning when I woke up, I actually went to bed really early for me anyway. I went to bed right around 1 a.m., which is very, very early for me. Not very, very early, but that's very early. And I woke up around 5, and my body was like, no, this is not happening. But my smoke alarm was going off, not because there was a fire, but because the battery was dying, and so I had to very begrudgingly go into the garage, get my head. Of course, it was in one of like the tall rooms too, so it's not like I can just climb on like a step stool or something. I had to actually get the ladder out of the garage and change the battery. And then my back was like, no. We don't do this at 5 a.m. So, yeah. So that was my morning this morning. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go back to bed. I took a shower because I had gotten a little bit sweaty after lifting that ladder and climbing it up and all that stuff and then putting it back. Plus, it was hot out in the garage, obviously. So I took a shower, went back to bed, and I woke up at 2 p.m. and I was like, yeah, I have not been getting good sleep for the last couple of days here, so may have been why I was a little grouchy yesterday. Although that run was testing my patience, but honestly, like as everyone I'm sure has pointed out, I haven't seen the video. Actually hasn't come out yet at the time of this recording, but as people probably have pointed out, I was my own worst enemy in that run, and that was the lead contributing factor to the frustration. And whenever stuff like that happens, it's not that I'm frustrated with the game. That kind of stuff happens, and I get real mad at myself for playing like trash or playing just absolutely garbage, because I know that I can play better than that. And that's just the type of personality I have. Again, to a fault. I readily admit that. It's a character flaw. But I'm too competitive, and I get it upon myself to say, hey, you screwed up. What are you doing? You're playing like absolute garbage. We're gonna take both of these here, by the way. Sorry, Redemption. Oh yeah, we start with Redemption, by the way. All right, so we finally can see the map, and we are absolutely going to blast through here. I did get the blue map, which is nice. That will show us the location of all the secret rooms, and sometimes gives us a read on exactly where the boss room could be. Excuse me? Okay, apparently car battery does not work with Mega. I thought it did. Turns out I was wrong. Spectral Tears are going to be given to us by Spirit of the Night, which also gave us the flying, and that's very good. I I wish that we had gotten a damage up or any stat up, but you know, Gimpy is okay too. Gimpy is going to sometimes occasionally spawn red hearts, half red hearts whenever we kill an enemy, but more importantly, it also has a chance to pay out with a full soul heart upon us taking damage. We're going to need a little bit of money here, okay? Let's go into the shop, and I am going to have to bomb here for a few reasons. I'm not going to take pay to play because, yeah, that would allow us to get into chests and stuff, but then it all comes down to coins. And it would also allow us to go into our item room, but what I really wanted to get was a bomb. So, but I'm going to stay safe. We're going to grab the... We're just going to grab that. And we'll go into the... We'll just buy our way in here. Buy our way in here via key, like we normally do. Gonna dip into the mob trap room. If you don't know what redemption does, by the way, if we go into a double deal and we decide to pass on the item, we walk in but then decide to pass, that's going to give us a permanent damage upgrade from redemption, and it's actually quite good. It is a solid support item. It's best whenever you don't have to... This is a trap right here. You know what? I'm not going to do it. One bomb for 12 cents is a great trade. To save ourselves possibly a full soul heart, I think it's an excellent idea. I don't trust the spike rocks. By the sack here, we get 2 keys. Yeah, so that was a very good pickup there. What are you? Empress card. We could buy a full charge for Mega, but I don't know. That kind of situation is another one of those things where I don't want to spend something that we can get for free. We just have to clear 4 more rooms and we're fine. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm passing on the idea for paying out of convenience sake. Now, this is not a gacha game where I don't mind paying to save myself time and effort. This tears rate, though, is absolutely abysmal. 2.06 combined with a very low shot speed is it's all the makings of a crawl run. So no bombs. Gertie Jr. is going to be not fun, but we have the Empress card to help us out a little bit with movement speed and damage. Gertie Jr., you always want to make sure that she is attacking you. She's attacking you from head on, from straight on, not bouncing around like she just did. You want to be horizontal from her as much as possible. Never diagonal. It makes the fight very manageable and very safe. Sometimes she floats kind of like that. You just saw right there, and there's not much you can do about it. You want to control as many aspects of Isaac as you possibly can. So we get an HP upgrade, which gave us Holy Mantle, and we get a Krampus fight. That's just super, super awesome. Screw great. Love it. Now, if we take the Krampus item here, redemption doesn't care about that. We still should get the redemption bonus, I believe. Yes, it's everything in me right now not to just blast Krampus to oblivion here. Now, I want to talk about something that came up a couple of episodes ago when we were talking specifically about the like streak and that sort of stuff. We'll talk about it on the next floor. A redemption bonus. So it was brought up during the discussion about, you know, why the likes are not necessarily great right now. We haven't really had a banger of a video in a while and that sort of thing. And a lot of the responses in that thread were talking about, you know, well, there hasn't really been a whole lot of incentive to like. the like streak goal, whether it is exciting or not, is debatable depending on how much you like themed runs and that sort of thing, or it's just not interesting to some people. And that's definitely a contributing factor. It being summer also probably has something to do with that. But a lot of people seem to be harping on the idea that it's because of we're not going alt path, we're not doing victory laps, et cetera, et cetera. There's no extra innings, as I like to call them, in the latest couple of videos. And that's something that, if we are on a like this run right now, this run there's no way we can do a victory lap safely, right? I'm not going to force a victory lap just because of just to try to improve the metrics on things or anything like that. It's safety above all for me. And going into a really tough spot, forcing myself to go into, like, say, a Delirium fight or a Hush fight just for the sake of doing it is not why I play Isaac. I play Isaac to win. And there are times when it's just a stretch of runs where it's just kind of like nothing spectacular, nothing overpowered. Not every, and we've talked about this before. Not every run has to be an absolute banger. A new episode type thing. I wish that I wish I could control it. I wish that I could have just unlimited amounts of bangers every single episode. To a certain extent anyway, because those videos do a lot better than the sort of slog runs, and people find their own appeal for the crawl runs too. But you know the type of runs I'm talking about, where there's nothing really remarkable about the run, and there's nothing to get excited about, and that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to games that are heavily steeped in RNG. And Isaac, of course, is a game, even if you have RNG on your side, it doesn't ever really work out for you in your favor. You got to make your own luck sometimes. And those long-winded runs that are just a grind. Those are my least favorite runs. Like this one right now is not. It's feeling like one of those. It's a grind. It's just a slog of a run where the game is so far anyway not giving us anything to really harp on or be excited about, and we just kind of have to push through until we get something better. We don't have to have a 10-10 start right out the gate, but by now we would want to have at least something unique about the run and that sort of thing. And I recognize that. I know that people want to see the longer videos, they want to see extended runs, and they want to see victory laps and all that kind of stuff. I totally understand that. I really do. I don't want to force myself into a bad situation just for the sake of doing it for YouTube numbers when I wouldn't be comfortable, and I wouldn't be okay with that either. I wouldn't be enjoying myself. I'm not playing, it's not like I'm playing on easy mode or anything like that. I'm simply adjusting to what the run gives me. Oh wow, I thought that was the second boss, not the first boss. But that being said, it's not like I don't mind a challenge. We've all seen me go through the challenges of Isaac, the rigmarole of having just god awful runs based on our Eden start, and persevering nonetheless. But I will say that there are many times when it's like, well, we could go fight Lamb, but is it really worth it? And again, I don't necessarily put all the blame on myself either, right? That kind of thing. It's just that Isaac doesn't give you any. There's no incentive. We've talked about this for years now. There's no incentive to go fight any of the other bosses, right? I wish there were, other than just for personal enjoyment or personal challenge. And debatably, if you like that sort of thing, hey, go for it. I wish that the game did give us some just anything to have a little bit of incentive to say, hey, you know what, you need to go fight Hush, or hey, you know what, you need to go fight Lamb or Delirium, etc., or Beast. But the fact of the matter is, the game just doesn't have anything in there. So I'm very unmotivated to try and push the envelope in a run that is not good. Now, a halfway decent run, like a 5, maybe even 6 out of a 10 run, yeah, I'll take the risk and go full send it and see what happens, just to break up the routine and the blue baby kill after blue baby kill. but I'm not going to force the issue. We've got to get some type of security before I'm going to do something like that. And that you know, it's the sweet science of YouTube. You know, pleasing the audience versus what the creator is comfortable with. So, but I want people to know that I recognize and acknowledge your feelings when it comes to going extra innings and stuff. You also have to remember as well, finally, we actually got a stat upgrade other than our tiers rate, which I'm happy for, by the way. Thank you, Squeezy. So I don't want people to think that I ignore those type of comments or just kind of just brush them aside or whatever. I do, because I do see every single comment. I may not respond to everyone's. Some comments I do respond to depending on the nature of the comment. And you know, I think that what's separated my channel from a lot of other channels out there is my willingness to listen to everybody, and I have a desire to listen to the mosh pit and improve, and always be improving. Sure, we are getting really lucky on these devil deals here. I mean, I want damage, but we've got to get something here to help out our DPS. We don't need delayed gratification. We need immediate gratification here. Yeah, I'll take Loga's Famine. But another thing is to factor into things too. There are also times when, depending on what time I'm recording, I may be recording really late at night and I'm just tired. There are times when, if I record and my voice isn't feeling all that great, I don't want to push it either. So it's not just a matter of being lazy or not wanting to play the game or something like that. There's a lot of other contributing factors where I don't talk about, because I don't want to complain about that sort of thing, because it has nothing to do with the game. And if there's something major that came up, like I was sick or I had an emergency, or or if something really not great happened that negatively impacted the videos, I would mention it. But I'm not going to mention every single time I've recorded because I was tired. That's almost every single episode. I'm not going to mention every single time, well, I didn't get a lot of sleep, so I'm just going to take it easy today, anything like that, because it's not worth mentioning. And there's also times that you've seen me go through the motions of going to the dark chest, the dark room, fighting Lamb, and then saying, like, I think we're good there. Those type of scenarios are because I don't feel like there's not really anything else that we're going to get in the run that would have made it any cooler or any better than we already had. And also the runtime would get pretty high too. Like if we beat Lamb with 40 minutes or so on the timer, and we're just now having to choose between a victory lap, most of the time I'll just probably call it there. Because you have to remember, you're also demanding a lot of time from people who watch your videos. This is me talking in the third person. Where the hell is our item room, by the way? Look at the size of this map, man. It's just ridiculous. It's in here monologuing, and there's just a boatload of nothing on this deep desert-sized map here. So hopefully that lends a little bit more insight into my perspective, to help everyone recognize, hey, I'm aware. I'm aware. I wish we could do a victory lap every single run, but if the RNG isn't there, if we just don't get the items, and it's just a mess of a run, then I'm not going to force the issue. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to. We have a Perthro rune. We might as well. I'll say we're not going to make boss rush, obviously. I'll save it for the shop. Because there was a double... Oh, never mind. I thought there was a double premium in there. Well, I'll save it for the double deal then. Okay, so card reading gave us the portal to Mom, but we've already missed boss rush and we have no way of getting back out, so I'm just going to go to the item room instead. We get number 1, which is going to give us a massive tears up and a huge range down, but we need the tears up badly. Fortunately, that mosquito took our mega charge, so I have to wait for a room. Okay, well, I wasn't expecting coming in here, but we'll take it. We have the piss yellow brimstone now. Yeah, that room right there is one of my least favorite rooms in the entire game. Infamy mobs in particular are my least favorite mobs in the game. The game did an excellent job of wasting our time here for Mega. So good on you, game. Proud of you. Well, we get a greed fight in our regular secret room, which tells me that the shop at least is going to be free of a greed fight. I'm going over here just to see what's over here. Very happy to have at least gotten a little bit of a range upgrade right after getting a massive range downgrade from number 1. Things are starting to look up. They're starting to turn around a little bit here. And here's another example. Someone will undoubtedly ask me, how come I didn't go into the arcade right there? I didn't go into the arcade because it's going to cost us 1 cent. And that 1 cent is the difference between a premium item and a soul heart versus not getting the soul heart after the premium item. Okay? So it's those little decisions there. That's always been something I've had a problem with conveying and articulating in the commentary that I make that I just don't even talk about. So that is a conscious decision to not go into the arcade right at that point because we were sitting at 20 cents. Okay? So now that we have 21 cents, I don't mind going back to the arcade just to dip in and see what's in there. As you can see, there's nothing. But we can bomb the Charge Beggar, however, for a greater chance for a double deal. And we need to get that double deal because of us having a Perthro rune as well. So, and I'll try... ooh, a little too late for that, but I'm going to take it anyway. And I will buy the Soul Heart... We gotta address this card. That was a 0.57 damage upgrade, and we get a soul heart anyway, brother. Oh, baby. Look at that. We just got 1.1 damage from just simply buying soul hearts, man. Keeper Sack the goat. The absolute goat. I don't want to use the mod to cheat. I will walk over, just pick it up because we needed to. We don't really have a use for the Fool card. It does not take priority over the Perthro rune here. So, and don't really need to go in that big room over there. Just wanted to get a full charge in case if I need to use it against Mom, but we shouldn't have to. This is the least stompiest red Mom I've seen. That Locust Famine really doing a number on her speed. There we go. Now, because we have card reading, and Mega is the big factor here. I am going to take the negative to see if we can make something happen in the dark chest. I have a cult. I like both of these here, but, well, I take that back. I don't like either of the occult. I like Sack Dagger, but it's not worth it. Perthro rune. We get Abba Dabba Ding Dong, which I will absolutely take. That's better than what we would have gotten out of Redemption because we got a movement speed associated with it. All right, now card reading. Listen up. I put you on this team here to help out, all right? Your job is to give us red portals from here on out. Anything else other than that is unacceptable. Another charge beggar. Again, I'm just going to bomb for the increased devil deal chance. That was the craziest shuffle I think I've ever seen. We went north. We went north and got shuffled to the left twice. So, is that the game helping us out, or is that the game screwing us? With the negative and Abba Dabba Ding Dong, our damage is now doubled of what it was. I'm not using Mega right now because we don't... I think we're going in the right direction. I'm more inclined to use it on Womb 2, if anything. Yeah, we would have been going the right way. Big time damage there, and look at the way that Lump of Coal is scaling here. Like getting that range is important to help compensate for number 1. We are chunking her down now. Look at that. There we go. There we go. And we also get Sty, which is not a bad item either. Okay. That's 2 now. Card reading. All right. That's 2 unacceptable rolls there. So we need you to step it up, son. What you're doing right now is not the reason why I would put you on this team, okay? There you go. It's pretty much a perfect mega run right there. We failed our 68%. We don't have enough money to go make a strategical Hush play. If we had any other amounts of money, I totally would go fight Hush just for the sake of Keeper Sack. But the fact of the matter is that we just simply don't have any money. There's no way that we can go into Hush, and we've already bombed our donation machine. So, as much as I would love to go down and utilize Keeper Sack, we just simply can't. It's just not. It's not a play that we can make. There you go. See, you just need a little bit of a pep talk. It's all you needed. You know? All you needed. And just do that one more time, and your boy's got no more complaints. The Sty is an absolutely huge pickup for us because of how many shots we're firing. And remember, it also procs off of Twisted Pair, too. So, needless to say, it's a huge, huge, huge damage up on every other shot. Like a Sacred Heart shot, every other shot. And it's really strong. I don't know about that one. Hey, Locust of Famine's speed down is messing with my mojo here. There we go. And we didn't get a red portal. Brimstone. Brimstone gives us Leviathan. It also refunds 2 soul hearts. So this is only going to cost us 1 soul heart. We have an Algiz rune. We should be okay here. I'm not feeling great. We absolutely have to use Mega. We also absolutely cannot take any damage. Okay, so we immediately found Lamb. Big time plays there by Mega. Got super lucky on the navigation. There we go, baby. Whew. Yeah, we'll do a victory lap. I can see Juliet Sierra, Golf Sierra, Brr. So now this would be a fun competition. Now let's see, because Saturdays and the weekends traditionally aren't great for the like streak goal. We'll see if the victory lap on a, oh my god, a victory lap on an off day, a slower day, will beat out any other video that we had this week, because I think we only had maybe one victory lap this week. I obviously want to get PhD here. PH Dizzle is a massive get for us. But obviously Polyphemus is going to take care of us. We are no longer worrying about damage. There we go, baby. PhD is in the bag. Put the PhD in the bag, bro. Jizzle, it's also going to give us a nice stat up here from Keeper Sack. And bombs are key. All right. Polyphemus, Brimstone, baby. If you're wondering why I didn't take the portals, is because, remember, on Victory Lap, still a bug that's, at this point, I doubt will ever be fixed. But, yeah, it's just a bug. There's a double Tendon Rock in here. And a whole bunch of bombs. Vested. That was not the one I meant to pick up and use. There'd be another Tendon Rock in here. A lot of soul hearts. Money is still important because we have Keeper Sack. You know what? I will take Blister. The knockback that you get from Brimstone is really, really nice. It can really debilitate a lot of enemies and bosses. Yeah, we'll definitely take the blanket if we can afford it. I'll say the blue map has been doing very well for us as well. Yeah, that'd be a neat competition to see if today's video, because we went to a victory lap, and after, of course, discussing about the like streaks and everything, if this video on an off day actually surpasses any other video on the week. Would be interesting. Life of YouTube is just fascinating. Passing a little Steven here, and we get our first guppy item. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Mega Blast, and you know what? We'll do Alt Path because we have Polyphemus Brimstone. Okay. This will take us to the shop. Min is Min dead. And we're going to get a damage upgrade there from Redemption. There's our white fire there. We could... I mean, I do want the Bone Heart. Bound Soul is even better. Bound Soul gives us basically another buddy that copies all of our shots, and it's just a third Brimstone to add on top of our already, or just a fourth Brimstone to add on to our 3 Brimstones. I think we're absolutely okay to go fight the boss here with these stats. Want to make sure we have a full charge Brimstone. Gonna be Min again. He's not too tough. Get an HP upgrade, which is totally fine by me. Also, just now realizing we didn't actually go to the item room in the above world. All right. Got our first knife piece. I don't remember the last time we fought Mother. And I will take Mom's Perfume. It may not seem like a huge Tears upgrade, which it's not, but it does break the Tears cap, and any level of increased fire rate with Brimstone is good, is better. We could turn some of these red hearts into money, unless if that happens. Oh yeah, it takes away a full heart. Yeah, I'll leave it. We'll leave it. Oh yeah, also Found Soul Buddy also drops a second bomb, by the way, which helps out very nicely. Occasionally, anyway. Yeah, so we got our redemption bonus there. And nice, we do get Roid Rage. So starting to be pretty respectable here in our stats now. If only we had the Polaroid. Every time we tap a Temperance Machine, by the way, we're going to get double payouts because we have PhD. Really, I don't even care too much about the item room as much as I do care about the shop because of Keeper Sack. And because we also have Polyphemus, so if we get damage up from us picking up damage upgrades right there, it gets multiplied like that right there. 1.27 damage. Yeah, brother. And if we get blessed with a red portal, I'm gonna keep taking them. There we go. We get another Tears upgrade here, which is not gonna matter at this point. And we get Whore of Babylon or Broken Heart. Or Heartbreak. Don't really want either one of these. They're not great. We don't really need, honestly, the Algiz rune at this point. It's a giant bomb launcher. That was a tiny bomb. Okay. Potential second guppy item, maybe. No. Power pill, 40-hour energy. I'd rather have the teleport. Red Stew is definitely takeable here. I'll be a temporary. Throw a little defiant bomb right in their face. So we do have to backtrack. We can't just skip this. We can't just skip this floor because we got to get the knife piece for alt path. So we don't have to find the third golden button to get into the mine shaft, but we still need to find the item room. So we'll probably end up finding it over the course of our travels here. There it is. Yeah, having lost contact with Brimstone effectively nullifies 99% of any ranged attacks that exist in the game, and obviously with Mother, there's a lot of ranged attacks, so we can actually start attacking the projectiles that she throws out in that fight whenever we do eventually get there, which hopefully won't be too long. Of Elsa's hair today, looks like. Which was that the hair that we started with, or did we start with a different hairstyle? We need our hair. We need Dennis to rate this haircut. That's definitely Elsa's hair, though, even though I've never seen Frozen. You can choose to believe me or not. I don't really care. I don't even know what Frozen is about. All I know is that it made $1 million, zillion, trillion. It's also Rose's most popular video. That's all I know about. That's my extent of Frozen. And I also have the top 8 finisher Let It Go Lorcana promo in a PSA 10. My brain broke for half a second in this particular room. I don't think I've ever seen this room before. Again, with Mother, you just simply send her into the direction that you're not going. This has been a pretty nasty gauntlet that we're running here. Okay, we got through there. We can go check to see in the member shop, but we have no more money. Soul Heart, eh. I think we can just go ahead and get Red Stew here, and that'll be fine. Maybe 2 diamonds, Queen of Hearts. Our damage is now giga pumped. We are looking real strong here. Go, baby. That's what I like to see. We have Heretic, who's not long for this world. Yeah. That Polyphemus influenced Red Stew is brutal. And it's tough to overcome. I think it was power, I guess. We're not gonna maintain a whole lot of money here, so I'm not planning on sticking with it. Well, let's put it this way: I'm not planning on it being a huge payout for us. If you're wondering right there, by the way, why we did not take damage when we ran into the Temperance Machine, it's because of Conehead. Occasionally, Conehead will nullify all damage, which is a very odd thing to have it as a perk of that item, because it doesn't. You wouldn't think that it has total immunity, but it does. You like me some Scapular, but I don't think we're gonna get 34 cents. Maybe this cardio coin. We have or 37 cents. Yeah, there's no way. No way this cardio coin lasts another 14 cents. Yeah. It did get us most of the way there, though, surprisingly. Scapular is definitely within the realm of reason of getting here. We're 1 away from Scapular. We're going to get it. I'm not really getting Scapular just because it's Scapular necessarily here. I'm getting it because I want the big stat ups from a 37 cent purchase in the shop. If I could ever stop going in the wrong direction, despite knowing exactly where I need to go. Yeah, so that was damage, an unknown amount of damage there. Because it's still being skewed right now by Red Stew. Run card. We might as well just use it now. Arms a key again. I'd rather take the keys. Yeah. Yep. We even get access to gain access to boss rush again. Station 2 is not bad, but none of these are really worth. They're not do boss rush good, you know. I mean, Infestation is good, but we're not going for an Omega run here. We'll take an Eternal Heart, however. And we also got Maw of the Visoid, so that's going to help us out even more with close-range combat, and that's what I'm talking about right there. These late-game teleports are king. You just combine all the Brimstones with the Maw of the Voids. And there's nothing that's going to be able to stop from dying with this amount of damage. And we're just going to keep adding on more damage. I'll definitely take that. Big time plays happening at the end of the run here. Did not get a red portal, unfortunately. Our final portal. But what a run. What a run. I'd like to see, again, with the idea of this run in particular, this video in particular, going up against the rest of the week's runs, just to see how well we do. Since we did do a victory lap, and people have been talking about it. Hermit card out. That's the whole reason why we got it. Pretty sure this is not the right way to go. Although, I will say that the location of the super secret room is very suspicious. Very sus. As the kids say. I don't know if the kids still say sus anymore. I don't think they do. Yeah, there's a mini charge in there. So we will get I believe anyway, we'll have another opportunity to use Mega against Mother. Especially if this is the wrong way to go, which I think it is. Yep. My instinct was right. We were indeed bamboozled at the very end by the super secret room. To absolutely nobody's surprise. Don't worry, if there's a wrong direction to go, your boy's gonna find it. I think we all know that by now. All right. We've gone to every which way possible. Let's go to the right way. No, I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm ready for this run to be over. We got horse girls to race. I hope the Uma Musume series does well, because it is a very fun game. Some people don't like seeing a gacha game on the channel. What's going on in here? Which I get. I mean, I understand, but my channel is made for adults, so that's what I'll say about that. Found Soul buddy, you okay? Firing in the wrong direction there, buddy. Got the crossfire, I guess, and she's just gonna get blasted by an invisible Found Soul buddy. I don't know what's going on with that. You know what? Yeah, let's go. Let's just go for a complete run. We fought Mother. Let's go fight Delirium here at the end. I don't know why Found Soul buddy is invisible. It could be spun. No, 2 or 3 for spun. There you go. So there's no excuse for this video not to blow up in the mosh pit with us having a victory lap. We got a Mother kill, and we're going extra innings here with Delirium. You get the devil. Our red stew buff is still active, by the way, which is really impressive considering that we bought that on Mausoleum 2. Trying to utilize Lump of Coal here as much as we can. Scales insanely well with Brimstone and Polyphemus. Don't really care too much about using Maw of the Void here. Wow, okay, Delirium. I don't know where he's at. If you're looking for Delirium, don't worry, just wait. He'll teleport right on top of you. Two Deliriums. There we go. So down goes Delirium. We get the dub. Extra dubs here today on Saturday. Happy Saturday, Mosh Pit. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. I hope you had a fantastic Saturday going on into the new weekend. Let me know what your plans are down below. Love to hear your weekend thoughts going on into this almost mid-July. Now, can you believe we're already almost halfway done with July? It's crazy, man. Time is a interesting, crazy thing. Thank you for watching, everybody, and as always, I'll see you all next time. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. I'd like to thank some patrons of mine like Langwart, Chronic Shadow, and Squeegee. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of an Isaac episode, check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find at patreon.com/Invicta.